Hi, I'm Michael Mosolino, and this is Culinary Experience. Hi, welcome to the show today. Today I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I'm going to prepare something that is just my most favorite hors d'oeuvre ever. And then we're going to try and sneak into a little pasta. However, for this hors d'oeuvre, I'm going to make stromboli. Now, stromboli takes a little bit of time, so we'll see how much we can get into the show. And there's a little bit of prep involved. There's a little bit of dough work involved. So just follow along. And again, as this recipe with a lot of other ones are available on my website or by emailing me at culinaryexperience.tv, info@culinaryexperience. Okay, I'm going to start off with this, a little olive oil on my countertop. Okay? Now, again, we're at the studios in Wainscott at LTV. So a brand new gorgeous studio. Hope they don't mind that I put olive oil over the countertop, but I'm going to rub it in. Here's what we want to do. We want to take a pizza dough that you can buy anywhere. I mean, any pizzeria will sell you a dough. Even the major stores have it. They have it frozen. And if you need to buy it frozen, all you have to do is let it slack out, defrost, and then it'll rise up by itself. This is my personal pizza dough, which of course is the best. I've got a pizza dough, drop it down. This is where it gets fun. A little bit of olive oil on my hands also. And then we're going to roll it out. Stromboli. You can fill a stromboli with really anything you want. I am particularly fond of prosciutto and sausage because I'm a fatty. Here we go. Starting off, what we're going to need for our stromboli, I'm going to let that rest. It's a little cold. I just took it out of the refrigerator. Let it rest a minute. I need for my stromboli, the first one we'll make is going to be asparagus, fontina cheese, and prosciutto, which is wonderful. The prosciutto and the cheesiness comes together so good. Follow me down here. I'm going to show you what I do. Now, we have 2 bunches of asparagus. I'm going to cut the ends off of them. Real simple. Take the rubber bands off. And over here, in this pretty green pot, I have poaching water. But I want to show you a tip before I do anything else. This is baking soda. If I drop a little baking soda in there, in my water, and drop my asparagus in, don't ask me why, I don't know why, but it's a chemical reaction. It makes the asparagus and any vegetable you're dealing with so bright and beautiful, it's amazing. And actually, a friend of mine who's a real estate agent but is a great, great cook showed me this tip. And it brings all the color out of the asparagus, makes it absolutely beautiful. So we're just going to let it poach for a minute, okay? And then we'll come back to that. So going back to the dough. We've got our dough now. Now, if your dough is cold, it's a little harder to roll out. If it's warm, it's a little easier. The only problem with a really warm dough is that you can tend to put a hole through it. And of course, with pizza dough, if you do put a hole through it, it's not the end of the world. I have over here a little bit of a semolina flour and the pizza flour, the stuff we used for the pizza dough. So I'm going to put a little bit this flour in it, and I'll tell you why. The semolina has a great texture, has a great flavor. And that's the flour that's a little gritty. When you find a semolina hero, for instance, it's a little bit yellow. So what I want to do is, because the dough is a little bit wet, I want to work the flour into it. Semolina flour you can buy in any store. Comes in a little 2-pound bag or 1-pound bag. Now I'm ready. What I've done is I've added a little bit of texture to the dough, and I've added a little bit of flavor to the dough. Let's go. Roll it out. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to make this paper thin. Keep going, asparagus. Okay? Paper thin. I can pick it up just like a pizza. You know, just like a pizza. You can flip it, you can spin it, whatever you want to do. This is great to do with your kids. A little more oil because we are going to make this dough so thin that you can almost see through it. Now, here we go. And the oil, look at that. See how it pulls out? One thing I got to tell you is don't be scared of your dough. Don't be scared of it. You pop a hole in it like that, all you gotta do is pick it up and remend it. It's done, okay? Now I wanna do the edges, and I wanna take the dough all the way down to the bottom of the counter. See, I have a hole here. It's not an issue. Refold it. You're done. Now we're just gonna go ahead and roll it back together again. Of course, with a Stromboli, it's okay to have a little hole in it because at the end, we're gonna put a hole in it anyway to let the vapors and the steam from the asparagus and the cheese escape so that the dough isn't soaking wet on the bottom. Okay, let me just check our asparagus. Not quite yet, but do you see the great color in that asparagus? It works with broccoli, any vegetable. It brings the color right out, and it's great. Who knew? Move this over, and here we go. I want it as thin as I can get it. However, now let me tell you another little situation you're gonna run into. You don't wanna make your dough bigger than the oven you have, okay? Now, here at the studios in Wainscott at LTV, they have basically a regular household oven. I'll take you over and show you. It's really just a KitchenAid basic oven. So what we have to do is know our dimensions of the oven. The problem with making a Stromboli is there's not a sheet pan that's made to the right size. So we're gonna make our own sheet pan out of aluminum foil. I think, guys, we're ready. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna step back. I have a bath, a cooling bath of cold water for my asparagus. I'm gonna drop it in, and I'm not gonna, make it cold, but I'm gonna stop the cooking process. And that's what we need, because I don't wanna put a hot item into a cold dough. Now I have my ovens preset at 350, and maybe I'll take it up to 400 so that we have plenty of time. I gotta push a button and 400 and start. Here we go, guys. This is the fun part. I'm gonna go hog wild here. I'm gonna start off with a little Parmesan. Can't go wrong with Parmesan, right? Okay, now, I have the Parma prosciutto. And I really have quite a bit of it because I love it. But we'll make two different kinds, I guess. So I have a sliced prosciutto here, and I'm gonna lay the prosciutto down. And I tend to overdo it with the prosciutto. It's a great flavor. And when that prosciutto comes together with that fontina cheese, throw the wrapping paper in the garbage. Here's the garbage can. When the prosciutto comes together with the cheese, it's wonderful. Now, I also have spinach here. You can use spinach. If you're a vegetarian, you can certainly do grilled vegetables with this. Okay, now, next step, fontina cheese. This is an Italian imported fontina cheese, and I'm simply gonna lay it on my cutting board and take off the edge and cut it into little strips and load it into my Stromboli. This is so delicious. You know, there's nothing like this. You know, having friends over, have a couple friends over, a glass of wine, and make a Stromboli. Talk about the day and the week and enjoy yourselves. Life is about people and food and fun and kids. Here we go. Back over here. Here we go. Dropping it in. Just layer it in. And you can make it thin. You can make it thick. You don't want to make it too pointy because what happens is it will protrude from the outside of the dough. And now I'm just going to lay in my asparagus. Okay? As I'm doing this, why don't you guys go take a little break? When we come back, we will roll it together, and we'll make a little cutting board for it out of aluminum foil, simply by folding it. We're going to fold the foil and make it fit in our oven when we come back on a culinary experience.